In the early to mid-2000s, KMG debuted a new ride that was inspired by the classic European Waltzer. It was called the Fun Factory, and it was essentially a Tilt-a-whirl on steroids. Today we're going to shed some light on this lesser-known KMG attraction. KMG has manufactured 3 Fun Factories, and all 3 are currently in operation. The first was offered to Scottish showman Graham Sedgwick in 2003. However, it was still in development and he opted for a new Freakout instead. KMG gave him the option to buy the Fun Factory when it was ready, but he never did. At this stage in development, the ride was called the Waltzer by KMG. At some point near the end of the development, KMG changed the name to the Fun Factory. The Fun Factory finished development in 2004 and opened under the ownership of Tony Kroon. It was called Fun Factory and traveled around the Netherlands until 2012. It featured a large decorative structure that encompassed the ride, giving it a factory-like appearance. When it first opened, it featured a yellow cover on top. This cover was removed shortly after, leaving the top completely exposed. Decorative signs and props were placed on the outside of the structure to enhance the theme. Fun Factory was also one of the first fairground rides to feature 100% LED lighting. At the time, LED lights were unproven and expensive, but reduced electricity usage by up to 90%. In 2012, this ride was purchased by Sky Attractions and shipped to the US. It operated under the name Fun Factory until it once again changed ownership to Showtime Rides. Under new ownership, it was refurbished and renamed to Hurricane in 2014. It continues to travel around the United States and was recently refurbished and renamed once again to Beach Party in 2020. Beach Party is currently owned and operated by D&K Amusements. The second Fun Factory debuted around 2008 and is owned and operated by showman Jonathan Wheatley. This version is called Speed Buzz and does not feature the decorative structure found in the first. It is designed to be more compact to fit in the spot of a former Eli Bridge Ferris wheel that used to travel at the fair. In addition, the queue is in front of the ride instead of wrapped around the outside. Speed Buzz spends most of its time traveling around fairs in the British Isles and is arguably the most well-known Fun Factory. The newest Fun Factory opened in 2018 and is named Hurricane. Hurricane is owned and operated by German showman Karl-Heinz Heine. Hurricane can be found traveling to fairs in Western Europe. Interestingly, Hurricane is a different size than the first 2, making all 3 Fun Factories slightly different in size. The Fun Factory features 6 4-person gondolas that are placed on a ride platform. The gondolas are supported by a stabilizing support above the gondola and a rotating support below it. Think of it as essentially a carousel horse flipped upside down. The rotating support on the bottom shifts the gondola up and down while the support on top stabilizes it. An electric motor powers each of the reciprocating support arms that shift the gondolas up and down. This up and down motion intensifies the spinning as the cars are not balanced at the center, much like on a Tilt-a-whirl or Waltzer. Each gondola is free spinning but features a braking mechanism that activates when the cycle ends. The center rotates at up to 18 revolutions per minute, creating a rather intense ride experience at that speed. Riders are restrained using lap bars, and each ride unit holds 4 riders, making for a capacity of 24 riders per cycle. The Beach Party features additional seatbelt restraints, which is most likely to make it ASTM compliant in the US. Even though Fun Factories are popular with guests and well liked by their owners, very few have been produced. This is likely due to the transport that requires 2 trailers rather than 1. The ride begins with the brakes unlocking and the center starting to spin. As the ride picks up speed, the electric motors activate and begin to shift the gondolas up and down. The gondolas begin to spin rapidly, exerting intense forces on the riders inside. Fun Factories can supposedly pull up to 5 Gs during the most intense spinning moments. When the ride comes to an end, the center slows down and the brakes on the gondolas engage to stop them from spinning. KMG still offers the Fun Factory for purchase. Fun Factories remain popular with riders for their intense experience and uniqueness. If you stumble upon one of the 3 Fun Factories, be sure to give it a ride and see if KMG truly upgraded the experience of the Waltzer. That's all we have for this episode of Flat Ride Friday Season 2. Have you been able to experience a Fun Factory? If so, what did you think of it? As always, if you'd like access to all episodes of Flat Ride Friday Season 2 without having to wait, you can become a channel member and start binging them right now. If not, no pressure. The next episode will be out next week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.